Andre in Queens, New York, asked a very important question that has some immediate social and spiritual consequences. With both blacks and whites reverting to a mindset not seen since the 1960s of racism and hatred, it seems as if there is a demon assigned to pull the strings on racial tension in this country. With some blacks going to an emboldened black superiority based on Egyptian ancestry and theology, and some whites going back to the mindset of their racist grandfathers or great grandfathers, there must be a specific demon that has been assigned to sow this discord in our nation. Andre, you're onto something very important. And yes, I believe that you're right. There is a demonic component to what's going on with the rise of racial hatred on both sides that we've seen in recent years. First of all, I would encourage you to read our book on curse breaking. I have a section in there called The Curse of the Slave and the Curse of the Slave Master. And I believe that both sides of this conflict are affected by these curses. In short, the curse of the slave master is an attitude generationally inherited as a curse that believes that people of color are inferior and that those of lighter skin have the right to dominate them. The curse of the slave is a mentality of self-defeat, of poverty and negativity that comes from the environment that occurred during slavery. And this curse of slavery also affects the family. Because let's face it, during times of slavery, black individuals were just commodity. They were treated like animals. And a family meant nothing to the slave master and could easily be broken up on the auction block in a moment's notice. And we see the effect of this today. Now, I also think there is more to this. For example, I recently dealt with a case in what we call ancestral generational dissociation, something that we teach students in our online International School of Exorcism. This individual had an ancestor who was black, but had also on her ancestry had individuals who were white, and in particular a white woman whose family owned slaves. And she fell in love with one of the slaves, ran off with the slave, and the slaves then used African witchcraft to curse her and to curse the marriage. Many times, underneath the surface, in a spiritual sense, things may be going on that we don't understand. We only read about it in the newspaper. We only see it in the protests. We see it in the violence. We see it in discrimination. Many times there's a deep spiritual influence behind it. Also, this turning back to Egypt that you refer to is a very dangerous thing because of the occultism in that highly developed demonic religion that was part of ancient Egypt, out of which God brought his people. And then you can add to that Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, and all the anti-Semitism that goes along with it. And the black community, unfortunately, is infested with an ideology of counter-racial superiority. In my way of thinking, there's no simple answer to these situations, but we must not forget the potential component of demonization and evil spirits with assignments to foment this kind of hatred and discord in our society. Certainly, racism is a social condition. There's no denying that. But in addition, it also is learned behavior. And many times that learned behavior is a curse that goes down generation to generation, whether it's black hating white or white hating black. But racism is also a personal sin. And it is a sin that is not biblically supported. The scripture is very clear, particularly through the writings of Paul in the New Testament, that there's no Jew, there's no Greek, there's no free, there's no barbarian. We are all of the same blood. We are all of the same human family created by the same God. And that ought to make us colorblind. But demons will seize upon any injustice, real or perceived, to bring about hate, anger, and discord. Many times I have to wonder when I see the violence and the counter-violence that goes on in our culture today in the name of racial suppression or equality, how many of those individuals behind all of that are themselves demon-possessed, and their agenda is being set by hell, not by justice and racial equality. To say that all racism is demonism is a bit of a stretch. But I believe that America will never solve this problem unless we get a deep understanding that deliverance from racial prejudice and deliverance from demons that cause it on both sides of the equation is desperately needed. When we put Jesus at the center of our lives, black or white or of any color, you must become colorblind and you must be accepting of all individuals. The healing of the human heart, the deliverance of the demonic from the soul, is the true path to social justice in America. The International School of Exorcism, an online Bible college of spiritual warfare. The history of exorcism, healing, deliverance, and spiritual warfare. The practical aspects of breaking curses, pulling down spiritual strongholds, and removing the legal rights of Satan. Set yourself, your friends, and family free by enrolling in the International School of Exorcism. In our new book, Set Your Family Free, we teach how to raise children with purity principles, how to prepare them for adulthood, and how to break every assignment of Satan over their lives.
We give you the principles of spiritual warfare to fight for your family and to be victorious over the powers of darkness.
This is the book that will set your family free. How do you know if your problems are the result of bad life choices or demons? My 200-page book, Dealing with Demons, has answers for questions most are afraid to ask. Can Christians be demon-possessed? How can I know what's natural and what's supernatural? Dealing with Demons will teach you how to recognize symptoms that the devil is at work in your life. Be one step closer to living in spiritual victory. The most frequent demon that I deal with is the spirit of Jezebel. This demon wants to destroy your health, your finances, your marriage, your family, and your church. My book, Jezebel, is your key to overcoming the most prevalent evil spirit of our age. Get your copy today.
He took the curses away from me. Go see Bob Larson because he can help you.
If your life isn't all that it should be, if relationships aren't working, if your health, your finances, or your spiritual life are unhappy, schedule a personal one-on-one encounter with me. We'll get to the root of the issues that are holding you back. We'll give you answers and a whole new direction in life.
Oh, what a change, what a difference when you have an encounter with God.
Take action. I look forward to seeing you soon.
We encourage your support for this worldwide outreach to do what Jesus did. For the latest information on resources, seminars, conferences, training institutes, retreats, and international missions, go to boblarson.org. Thank you for your prayers and financial partnership.